Following my first discussion with President Trump, I tried unsuccessfully to open similar discussions with Vice President Harris. Vice President Harris declined to meet or even to speak with me.
That I assume is because she's a racist. What other possible explanation could there be? Kamala Harris wouldn't meet with or speak to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., of the Democrat Kennedy family. Perhaps you've heard something about them. They've been around for some time now. Sure. My friend Mark sent along a fun political cartoon this morning. I think it's a Bach cartoon, and it's on frame left is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with his hands thrown up in the air, and on the right is Kamala Harris with her hands thrown up in the air. He's grimacing, and she's cackling. And the balloon coming out of RFK's head says, "I couldn't get an interview." He explained, I played the audio yesterday, talked about how Ross Perot, running as a third-party candidate, did something like 34 interviews with the networks. And over the course of 6 months, he got two interview offers, and he took them up. And then on the right, it's Kamala Harris cackling, saying, "I wouldn't do an interview." And that's right. RFK Jr. couldn't get an interview from the networks, and Kamala Harris won't do an interview because, she doesn't have to. The news media is running the campaign for her. It's amazing. The Democrat, and it's all, look, the corrupt media, that's part of the Democratic Party. That's part of the corruption of the Democrat Party. Make no mistake. They're inseparable. Completely crazy. Let's see. Let's go to the phones, Jeff. And I see so many calls that I'd like to go to. But Jeff, let's go to. Since we're talking about the Kennedy family, let's first go to Corey, calling from Pittsburgh, PA. Corey, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, nice talking to you again. How are you today?
Very well, very well. Welcome.
Hey, I just wanted to say real quick, it's been a good few days for the Kennedy family. They got RFK finally came to the light. And I wanted to congratulate Ted Kennedy on Sunday. Got overlooked because of the weekend, but Ted Kennedy celebrated 15 years of sobriety on Sunday.
Ted Kennedy, 15 years of sobriety at long last. Is that right? That is the anniversary of Ted Kennedy's death. Is that correct? That is great.
Yeah.
15 years of sobriety for Ted Kennedy. That is fun. We should have him singing in his with his Spanish language lilt to celebrate. But it's not technically the anniversary today. That's the only way that Ted Kennedy ever got sober.
Yeah, you like to point out whenever people do something nice. So figured I'd flag that on the radar.
That's a good, and it's true. And RFK, the Kennedy family kind of imploded over the course of the last week because RFK Jr. isn't singing from the Democrat Party sheet music. And we had Kerry Kennedy, we played the audio yesterday over the weekend, attacking her own brother on behalf of the party. It's very Maoist that you have, family on family violence because one family member has deviated from the party. From the party's sheet music. And as RFK Jr. points out, Corey, the reality is the Democrat Party of today would be unrecognizable, and that's the term that he's using, RFK Jr., would be unrecognizable to his father, Robert F. Kennedy Sr., and to his uncle, John F. Kennedy. And as I'm fond of saying, Corey, and I believe this to be true, and I think it is demonstrably true, the Democrat Party today is closer on the political spectrum to Lee Harvey Oswald than they are on the political spectrum to John F. Kennedy. And that they're pro-communist, pro-Cuba, anti-American, anti-capitalist, want to destroy and bankrupt the United States. Lee Harvey Oswald would fit right in today's Democratic Party, but John F. Kennedy would not. John F. Kennedy would be to the right of Mitt Romney. He'd be kind of a middle-of-the-road Republican today. And as for Robert F. Kennedy, well, the Democrat Party today is much closer on the political spectrum to Sirhan Sirhan in their views of Israel and the Middle East and war and peace and everything else. That Sirhan Sirhan, still alive and well, living in a prison in California, even though he did make parole last year, but Gavin Newsom hasn't signed the paper to let him out of prison. But I believe that to be true. Democrat Party is closer on the spectrum, not the autism spectrum, but the political spectrum, to Lee Harvey Oswald and to Sirhan Sirhan than they are to John F. Kennedy and to Robert F. Kennedy. And I think I could spend a semester explaining why that's true. It'd only take about an hour, but you know how these semesters go. Good stuff. Thank you, Corey. And now let's go to David calling from Colorado Springs. David, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Very well, David. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just on float with you this past month, and so we did speak with you about our daughter who is at Cornell as a graduate student.
Uh-huh.
So speaking with her yesterday afternoon, she informed us that there was a UAW strike and all their cafeterias were closed.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I didn't read that.
The cause and effect.
Wow. So wait, they shut down because did you say the United Auto Workers Union? Is that what you said?
Well, there was some union. I'm not sure if it was UAW.
Okay,
But,
probably whatever, whichever union that runs the shop and feeds the students at Cornell on day one.
Yeah, first day of school, none of the students were able to get any food from the dining facility. She said we were kind of hungry. And so Ithaca has about 2 grocery stores, so there was a run on the grocery stores yesterday as well, as I understand.
No kidding. Wow. Now, she's there getting her master's degree.
Yes, exactly. But she's on a different campus. She's in the vet program, so their building's not on the main campus area.
So the are they cafeterias? I guess they're cafeterias, right?
Yeah, cafeterias, dining facilities. So I thought that was a little fun fact.
Now,
by the way, Cornell has 24% Jewish students.
No kidding. I did not know that. Could not have told you that. Now, are you Jewish? Is your daughter Jewish?
No, we're not Jewish. No.
Okay, but she's watching the anti-Semitic mayhem and the violence and the windows smashed, crystal knocked again, and the graffiti, and then you have the unions shutting down the food operations there for the students. And I tell you what, I just did a speed lookup here, David. And it says Lori Johnson, Senior Director of Staff Labor Relations at Cornell Department of Human Resources, asked UAW to again consider using a mediator they're choosing during negotiations to help both parties reach an agreement. UAW, however, has rejected the request, according to the university. So apparently they've got UAW, the United Auto Workers, doing jobs and it's amazing. The workers represented by the United Auto Workers headed to the picket line last week after negotiations with the school stalled over their labor contract. I got it. The left just poisons absolutely everything they touch, don't they?
They do. Very, very much so.
Boy, that is crazy. I'm glad you brought that to my attention. And why are the United Auto Workers, why would that be the union that serves meals on the campus of Cornell University? Oh, because left-wingers run it, and they're corrupt. And, of course, the senior leadership, not the rank and file members of the United Auto Workers, but the senior leadership corrupt as hell Democrat Party lackeys. And we've got what is, you can call it commie revolution or socialist, whatever it is, but this is the left destroying everything they touch, David.
That's true.
Man. Well, I hope that your daughter survives her master's program.
We told her to hunker down and, not get too close to the main campus area.
Isn't that amazing? Cornell students will see no hot meals being served during lunch on campus and other changes to dining services as they start classes this week due to the ongoing strike by dining hall employees. The workers, represented by the United Auto Workers, 2300, Local 2300, headed to the picket line last week after negotiations with the school stalled over their labor contract. So it's a shakedown by the UAW. Well, school starts next week. It'd be a shame if something happened to the students. Wow. Gangsterism, the left. In a joint statement posted to the university's website on Friday, Cornell's Vice President, Chief of Human Resources Officer Christine Lovely, said an interim provost, John Siciliano, shared that no hot meals would be offered in residential dining rooms during lunch on weekdays. Instead, students will be able to receive their boxed to-go lunches at select dining locations on campus in exchange for a hot meal swipe. So they're going to shake you down and charge you for the hot meal served, but instead throw you a sandwich rolled up in paper and tell you that you should count yourself as lucky. Boy, I tell you. And then, what they teach them, David, is to hate America and Israel and capitalism. And then they graduate and are cast into the workforce in the United States. Isn't it amazing?
It is. Very amazing.
Wow. David, thank you for the call. I was unaware of that. The Democrats, they just, everywhere they go, aren't they amazing? They wreck it. I tell you, we've got a little bit of time here. Thank you, David. Let's go to soundbite number 4, because it was kind of a funny moment. Jen Psaki on MSDNC, who was Joe Biden's spokesmodel before being given a 7-figure job to do Democrat propaganda on a national cable network by NBC Corrupt News. And she invited on the disgraced former CNN anchor, Don Lemon. Absolutely amazing stuff. And let's just go to Jen Psaki and Don Lemon talking back and forth on MSDNC.
Was there anything, what did they think about Harris? Did they have anything to say about her?
Oh, wait, pause that. Pause
listen,
that for a sec. See, Don Lemon is pretending to be a reporter, and he has been touring the country and talking to people about Kamala Harris. And what are Don Lemon, great reporter that he is, crackerjack reporter that he is, what are people saying about Kamala Harris out there?
It depends on where you are. We went to a number of different battleground states in Pennsylvania, Ohio. We were in Michigan, Indiana, on our way, obviously, Illinois, on our way to Chicago. And it sort of depended on where you were. Pennsylvania, I shouldn't say Pennsylvania, I should say Philadelphia, was a bit more liberal, and the answers to the questions about her and him were quite different.
See, the Democrats are filled with contempt for the state of Pennsylvania. They call it Pencil-tucky. So everybody not in Philadelphia is nothing but a redneck. And here is Don Lemon and Jen Psaki. What about black voters? Don't the black voters?
But for the most part, in Pittsburgh or at the Jersey Shore and in Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was. Right? They weren't familiar with her. So I think she has to reintroduce herself to the public. But for him, I think that they thought that he's better for the economy.
Walls.
And that, again, that he brought money into the community or that he was on black people's side.
On black people's side, I apologize. That's Trump. People don't know who Kamala is. Who is Kamala? They don't know who she is. She has to reintroduce herself. The propaganda apparatus of the Democrat Party is more ubiquitous than monkeypox at the DNC. What? Have we had the official outbreak of monkeypox from the Democratic convention yet? Because you know it's coming. They did have the Wuhan Red Death. A bunch of people got that at the Democratic convention. You know that the best-selling Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier uses Oxy technology that helps to quickly destroy a whole lot of viruses, odors, mold spores, and more. Thousands of 5-star reviews online. Works like a champ. Any smell will vanish in just a matter of seconds with the thunderstorm being on. Talking about diapers, left-wing protesters, cigarette smoke, garbage cans. You know, the powerful thunderstorm sends out these O3 molecules. These molecules seek out and help destroy odors. They go behind and underneath furniture. Nothing can hide from the thunderstorm. And you don't have to buy filters over and over again like you have to with so many different air filters. So start enjoying clean, fresh air in your home, in your office again. Get several thunderstorms for whole home protection. And right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack. For a whole home protection, you get 3 units for under $200. So you put one in the teenager's room, one in the kitchen, one in the basement. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com. EdenPureDeals.com on Al Gore's amazing internet. Use the discount code CHRIS3, CHRIS, and the number 3 to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com, and the discount code is CHRIS3. Yeah, Don Lemon and Jen Psaki, the apex of journalism in America in the 21st century. What about the black voters? Well, in Philadelphia, you know, everybody's a liberal. In the real world, they're out there and they say, well, Trump, the economy's better. There's more money in my pocket. That's when Jen Psaki decided to end the conversation.
You're listening to The Chris Plante Show.
Now, the people at The Blaze and Blaze TV yesterday broke some news with some video. Remarkable story. A U.S. Capitol Police squad car with its emergency lights on was parked directly across the street at the time that a guy wearing a hoodie, allegedly carrying a pipe bomb. You know, the pipe bombs outside the DNC headquarters and the RNC headquarters the day before January 6th. But there was a U.S. Capitol Police car with its emergency lights on, parked directly across the street. The hoodie-clad suspect, allegedly carrying a pipe bomb, walked down the alley toward the rear of the Republican National Committee building. Blaze News has learned video never before disclosed or made public shows the pipe bomb suspect bathe in red and blue light from the squad car. Still, they can't catch the guy.
This is The Chris Plante Show.
So much madness. So much madness. Craving stuff. It is nuts. Now, I was reading to you from the Mark Zuckerberg, CEO, Meta, Facebook, all that, his letter that he wrote to Chairman Jim Jordan, Congressman Jim Jordan, about all the corruption that the Biden-Harris administration, the FBI, that all the corruption having to do with our presidential election. No big deal. And going back and forth with my friend Brian Doherty and sharing a tweet. Imagine that Zuckerberg's letter to Congress had confessed that it was the Trump White House pressuring the company to censor information and news stories that didn't favor them. Imagine that Mark Zuckerberg's letter said that it was Trump's CIA and Trump's FBI that falsely claimed that the laptop that incriminated the Trump family was honestly, and it's entirely appropriate to raise these questions. Geiger Capital on X Writing, simply imagine if Zuckerberg had confessed that the Trump White House pressured his company to censor things that they didn't like, and then Trump had the CIA and the FBI falsely claim that a laptop they knew was real was fake to help him win the election. It'd be Watergate. It would be impeachment. It would be much bigger than Watergate. It would be the biggest scandal of all time in American political history if President Trump had done what Joe Biden did. And Mark Zuckerberg lays it out. You know, I like to say it's good to be a Democrat. And it's not really good to be a Democrat because you got monkeypox and everything, but and lots of other issues. Your children are all transgender and you're a little screwed up yourself. But the media covers up everything for you, and they pretend that everything you're doing is great. Everything is wonderful. Isn't it great? Like, for example, on MSDNC, Jose Diaz-Balart, who's a radical left-wing extremist, should probably be deported. Says, to be clear, he's talking about Kamala Harris. He's talking about Kamala. She's done no interviews, no press conferences. And Jose Diaz-Balart, who's a lion Sacagawea, said on MSDNC, to be clear, Kamala has taken questions from the press. Yeah, Peter Doocy from Fox News asked her, are you ready for your Fox News interview? And she laughed and said, yeah, we'll see. That's what we're talking about here. These guys are Soviets. Jose Diaz-Balart should be a fake journalist in Castro's Cuba because he's not on the side of journalism or Western civilization or America. Sure, Jose Diaz-Balart is what he said. Says, obviously, reporters are clamoring for a sit-down, but it's also been a line of attack from Trump. See, and that's the end. That's where Jose Diaz-Balart puts on a suicide vest. Today, he sent out a campaign email underlining it's been 37 days since Biden exited the race and still no Harris interview. You know, you guys are the people that should be putting out that tweet today, you moron. To be clear, she has taken questions from the press. No, she hasn't. Just not in a lengthy televised sit-down. Really? Is there a not lengthy, not televised sit-down or a stand-up or anything else? Does this really, do you think, matter to anyone other than journalists? Well, it obviously doesn't matter to you. And here's the story out of Mediaite, the left-wing Mediaite. Harris campaign asking reporters for political advice on who VP should sit down with for long-awaited interview. So wait a minute. The campaign is asking reporters who the candidate should do an interview with. And I love this sit-down stuff, like it's a mafia meeting. Who's going to have a sit-down in the... just amazing stuff. And I don't know if you've seen this. You've been to our Twitter or Facebook today, but our friend Kevin Tober was out and about today, and he saw a pickup truck. Looks like pickup. It's a well-worn pickup truck. And there's a bumper sticker on the back window of the pickup truck. You know, they do the like I heart, got a big red heart. And it says, I heart meth. I heart meth, M-E-T-H, meth. Methamphetamine. It's a narcotic and good stuff. So, yeah, Kevin spotted the I Heart Meth bumper sticker on the well-worn pickup truck, and he shot a picture of it and posted the I Heart Meth bumper sticker on the pickup truck on our social media things. And Kevin this morning texted this to me and with I found Hunter Biden's truck. Hunter Biden's truck. So he found the Hunter Biden pickup truck. That's pretty good stuff. Yes, sir. All right, let's get to, we've got audio that I haven't gotten to and I would like to get to. Now, let's go to number 6. Soundbite number 6. Because so many things going on. And I tell you this, Blaze with this new video of the pipe bomber, January 5th. I got to tell you, and I know Dan Bongino's been talking about this, former Secret Service guy. He was up on the Hill working with members of Congress yesterday on the attempted assassination of President Trump and stuff. But this guy Crooks that shot President Trump through the ear, murdered one person there, wounded two more in addition to President Trump. 20 years old, whatever he is, no social media presence at all. Isn't that amazing? No social media presence at all. They don't have anything, and they can't get anybody to crack into. He operated on encrypted sites. Really? And we can't crack that stuff? All you fancy, we give you like $1 trillion a week, and you can't crack that, huh? Isn't that amazing? Yes, sir. Yeah, and another story also out of Just the News, John Solomon's organization. Great stuff. It's a great site, Just the News. It really is Just the News, and it's real journalism. But another Secret Service bombshell from John Solomon and Just the News broke late last night. Mike Pence's escape car left its position during January 6th. Huh. Now, the vice president, you got in case, shooting starts or something, you have a vehicle nearby with armored glass and so on, so that you can evacuate the vice president. And somehow the Secret Service vehicle left its, hey, where's our escape vehicle? More crazy news out of the Secret Service is what that is. Homeland Security Department watchdog report blacked out key passages revealing how Secret Service put Mike Pence and Kamala Harris in danger 3 years before Trump assassination attempt. So another black eye for the Secret Service. Secret Service failures last month, Trump rally foreshadowed once redacted passages from the January 6th, the after-action report shared with agency brass weeks before the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt exposed harrowing blunders that may have put the lives of then Vice President Mike Pence and then incoming Vice President Kamala Harris in jeopardy. And then the redacted section, because they redacted it, recently released Homeland Security Inspector General report obtained by Just the News, chronicle how Pence's escape vehicle left its post without explicit permission and left him stranded in an increasingly violent scene, the U.S. Capitol that day. I got to tell you, no government agency is looking very good these days. Am I right? All right, let's go to, look what I'm doing here. Let's go to this crazy stuff because the DNC, the Democratic, one of the headlines today that I mentioned to you is that Kamala Harris and her Democrat minions are trying to find a way for Kamala Harris to get out of debating Trump. Joe Biden did a debate with Trump, and look what happened to him. That was the beginning of the end for him. And Kamala Harris is a dimwit, and she doesn't know anything, and she's not good on her feet. And they're having this debate over whether the microphones should be hot all the time or whether the microphone should be shut off when Donald Trump's not speaking, shut off his microphone, as they did during the debate with Biden. And the Democrats were insisting, we got to cut it up because he'll talk over Biden and, da-da-da. So here's the pajamas media piece on this today. Kamala Harris is trying to back out of the debates because they know that she's not up to it. Upon becoming the Democratic Party's presumptive nominee, Kamala Harris insisted that Donald Trump had already agreed to the September 10th debate, which was an agreement to do it with Biden, and then they swapped out illegally with no votes involved, Joe Biden for Kamala Harris, to take place on ABC. And she said that they had agreed to the rules and all, while the Trump campaign insisted that the agreement was with Joe Biden and not Kamala Harris, insisted on a new slate of debates, including a debate on Fox News, but wanting 3 debates. And now Kamala's only agreed to 1 debate. So they've got a liar there named Ian Sams. He's been lying for the Biden White House for a long time. Now he's lying for the Kamala Harris campaign. And he was on, DNC TV running his big mouth with a series of falsehoods and picking fights that he couldn't stand up to.
We want that opportunity for the American people to see Donald Trump for who he is. Not censored, not muted, but the unfettered guy that he is going to be if he becomes president again, especially now that we know that the Supreme Court has given him the authority to have unfettered power. And so I think it's really important that the American people get to see these two candidates live, unmuted.
Because you see, the agreement was that you'd go with the same rules that they had for Joe Biden. And the agreement was last time that you'd have the muted mics. When Joe Biden's not talking, you mute his mic. When President Trump's not talking, you mute his mic. And now the Harris people have come in and said, oh, no, we want to have Trump's mic hot all the time, hoping that he'll say something off color or whatever. But really what they're doing is they're picking a fight. And they want to open up the discussion about what the rules are, because they're looking for a way out. Even Pajamas Media says the Harris campaign is panicking about the upcoming debates, and the campaign wants Kamala to have a script, among other things. This is an attempt by the Kamala Harris campaign to get out of the debates and to blame Trump for it. Now, this is the left wing. And I got to tell you, this is pretty amazing, and it does look that way. Now, we've seen these games before, and it never works out well for the Democrats. Biden dodged debates for months and then challenged Trump to 2 debates, pretending that Trump was too scared to face him in the debates. Trump then promptly agreed to all the terms and wiped the floor with Biden in the debate, forcing him to drop out of the race. Pretty good stuff. Now, in response to this bourgeois that Ian Sams was peddling yesterday, Jason Miller of the Trump campaign went on to say, here's what's really going on.
Kamala Harris is looking for an off-ramp. I think they're several days into their debate prep, and they realize that they're in trouble. Keep in mind, the last time someone got in the political ring with President Trump, it ended their career. Joe Biden went from a sitting president to basically an afterthought. And so I think the Harris camp is really starting to freak out here. But also there's another issue. It's been now 36 days since Kamala Harris has done an interview or a press conference or anything of the sort. I think she's peaked.
I think she's peaked. That's pretty funny, and goading her a little bit and goading the campaign, and that's wonderful. Is she trying to punk out? Probably. Let's go to soundbite number 9. Number 9. Because President Trump yesterday was in Detroit, Michigan, where he was backed by Tulsi Gabbard, another Democrat, former member of the House of Representatives. But President Trump in Detroit, talking about the Afghanistan debacle. The 3rd anniversary of that debacle was yesterday. And President Trump said when he takes over the Oval Office, he's going to just immediately fire every general and every bureaucrat in the State Department and beyond that had anything to do with that disaster.
We'll get the resignations of every single senior official who touched the Afghanistan calamity to be on my desk at noon on Inauguration Day. You know, you have to fire people. You have to fire people when they do a bad job.
That's an idea. Wait, holding people accountable? How about Alejandro Mayorkas for lying under oath about pressuring Facebook and Twitter to corrupt the presidential election? Let's hold Alejandro Mayorkas accountable, too. He lied under oath, that's perjury, to the Congress about a very important matter of government corruption. And he still got the job, and there are no consequences for him. Tulsi Gabbard, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Army, combat veteran, Iraq veteran, unlike Tim Walz, and she is now backing President Trump. She's leaving the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party left her.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show.
right, we are back, and I first want to offer an apology and a correction. PJ Media, Pajamas Media. I think I misidentified them as a liberal outfit because I had too many articles in front of me, and I'd like to apologize for that. But they did a fine job there. Now let me get to this next story on an LPGA golfer who's a man, goes by the name of Haley Davidson. You see a picture of this guy from 10 feet away or 100 yards away, and you say, well, there's a man standing next to a couple of women. And gay groups are very excited that transgender golfer Haley Davidson is advancing in the professional LPGA ranks and getting into tournaments. Riley Gaines, the swimmer who had to swim against a man in college, Riley Gaines was on the television this morning. And Riley Gaines was asked to respond to this Haley Davidson advancing in the ranks of women's golf.
I didn't understand that competing at the highest level in women's golf was a failure. My response is a man telling a woman that she will never be good enough to be successful used to be correctly labeled as misogynistic, but now society, the Harris Biden administration, and certainly what we could expect from the Harris-Walz administration, this is what they call progress. The irony of a mediocre man who couldn't hack it in his rightful category. He was a mediocre D2 golfer, never winning any awards.
Now, this man, Haley Davidson, wrote attacking because women raised an eyebrow and said, you're coming in to steal our trophies. And, a former tour golfer, Amy Olsen, said, this is unfair. And the man posing as a woman said, I will never understand athletes who blame a transgender competitor on their own athletic failures. If you don't take accountability for your failures, then you will never actually be good enough to make it. Now, this is what we call a biological man who is a man, and it's just amazing. And Riley Gaines pointed out that, the LPGA stands for the Ladies Professional Golf Association. But this man posing as a woman, just appalling Haley Davidson, attacking, lashing out at the women, saying that he will never understand athletes who blame a transgender competitor. You're a man competing as a woman. It's cheating. You're an East German. Honestly, you need help, and not with your golf swing.